Rihanna recently performed at an over $100 million wedding in India for the son of an oil billionaire. And a lot of fans are angry at her, and they feel like she scammed them because she gave such little effort in this concert.
She's just like, look, I got paid. I got to go home.
Okay, it looks like she's pregnant, okay? So she's not even able to dance like she used to. So she's physically impaired in that sense. She can't twerk like she used to. She's got this big baby bump. She had to travel internationally for this. And in these videos, it definitely looks like she's phoning it in. I gotta be honest. So Rihanna is accused of ripping off Indian billionaire with lazy performance. She was paid $6 million and did little work despite singing the song. Some criticized a few performances in which she allegedly pretended to perform some of her dance moves.
I did see that at one point she like thought about twerking and then like stopped.
She was like, yeah, never mind. Like, I'm not up to it right now.
Maybe it's not the best place to do this.
Yeah, right. She was getting cramps. You know, she might have gone into labor on stage if she were twerking too hard. I understand.
The fact that
it's very demanding work.
Was respectable.
Right, yeah. But for $6 million, though, I understand why they're mad. I do. Apparently, Ivanka Trump was there. Bill Gates was there. Mark Zuckerberg was there. Just a lot of different, randomly selected rich people.
What I think Mark Zuckerberg... So I saw a couple of great things. So people were saying... did you see recently that Jason Kelce retired?
Yes.
I love this idea. I don't know if it was in our chat or in like the John Boy, like a John Boy post about him or something. They said what he should get a reality show where he goes around to various football teams and joins all of the tailgates at various teams as if he's like exploring the cultures of the various, because he's got that energy,
it's like the diners, drive-ins, and
dives.
dives of tailgate culture.
We need Mark Zuckerberg to have a show where he just goes and tries to interact with humans.
He genuinely seems like the most innocent tech billionaire.
Of all of them.
Which isn't saying much, but...
There was a funny thing the other day that said, it was like a meme after the outages. He goes, and I'll turn them off again if you guys don't start behaving. I still think that one day when Google doesn't get their way, they just turn off Google Maps. Like Google and Apple just turn off all the maps and they say, do what we want or none of your employees will be able to get to work.
Show the video of Rihanna here.
Okay, here we go.
Just to give everyone a sense.
Let's go full screen. There we go. Here we are.
She's barefoot.
Barefoot and pregnant. Trying her best.
The backup dancers are putting in a lot more work.
For a lot less pay, Sam.
For less pay.
How many months pregnant is she?
6, right?
Oh, she's pretty pregnant.
Yeah, she's definitely noticeably pregnant here.
She's like, yeah, but it's $6 million, right?
Yeah.
Which to her isn't really all that much.
She's like, you gotta pay me $1 million for each month pregnant I am. But yeah, this is the wedding for Anant Ambani, the youngest son of Asia's richest man. The event, including the wedding and pre-wedding festivities, reportedly cost $120 million. And it had a 9-page dress code. Obviously, the private concert by Rihanna. A feast of 75 types of dishes for breakfast, 225 for lunch, 275 for dinner, and 85 types of items for the midnight meal. And they just invited all of these random rich people to get publicity around it, I'm guessing.
Right.
Shouldn't she be getting leeway because she's pregnant? Give the lady a break.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
What were you expecting?
I agree.
Jessica Vaughn left a comment under here that says, they contracted her for 17 songs. Quality gets cut somewhere when you want someone like her for that long. That's why we curate what we make for public consumption. The entire thing isn't going to hold weight. Overall, looks incredible.
Didn't look incredible.
I mean, incredible. That's a little,
For a 6-month pregnant lady, she's half twerking. It's pretty impressive.
This says it was so over the top that the Daily Mail wrote a horrified piece noting the extravagant celebrations took place just yards from where some of the poorest people on earth eke out a living. So it was also getting hate because it was so extravagant and over the top. And, $100 million, it is over the top, decidedly so.
I agree about like when people say that's way too much money to spend on a wedding and it's extravagant, but when they say things like, oh, this is right next door to a XYZ, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
To take
invite
the
all of
wedding
the homeless people to the wedding?
Well,
Right,
and that's Hollywood being hypocritical because every time they host an award show, they literally have to clean the homeless people off the street and ban them until it's done, and then they let the homeless people back on the street. Also,
and of course, they have armed security, even though they're anti-gun.
All those things are, and it's also the wealth thing. It's relative, right? Yes, it's a lot to you and me, but it's not a lot to this person. Just like for a person who makes a lot of money, it's not a lot of money to just choose to fly private all the time. Whereas to me, that would be an unbelievably, extravagant expenditure. I can't do that. They can. Focusing on that will just drive you nuts. And I think that type of envy is where a lot of the problems in the culture come from right now.
I mean, I don't even express envy in saying this. I think it's just shocking and interesting that some people on Earth live like this. Like this family lives in a 27-story tower. Yep. And it was the first $1 billion home on the planet.
Like,
I also
that's
think
crazy. That, like, for a lot of those, for the people who make it, like, who become extremely wealthy without their families, I always laugh when people are like, "Let's put them on an employee salary and see if they can make it." I'm like, they would be able to make it. They absolutely would. You would readapt. You would figure things out and you would make it. Now, if we're talking about the kids of billionaires, the kids of millionaires, sure, that's different. But human beings always end up adapting. But that's a cope from poor people. And believe me, like, it's not like I'm of wealthy means. It's like they don't realize that you just come off as jealous of somebody else's success, not realizing that most of these people would find a way to adapt and become successful again.
Right. It's like even if they had that $100 million, they would find something else to complain about. Or they always point the finger at some other wealthier person.
It's so funny. I watch these old shows and you can see like where the gripes in the culture have gone. Like, like I said, I've been watching this old show called Third Watch, and there's a lot of people who are in hospitals, and you don't hear anybody complain about like the cost of healthcare because it's the year 2000 and Obamacare hasn't happened yet. So you just see how things have changed, or what people are complaining about based on the time period you're living in. And right now, it's the have-nots who care a lot about complaining about the haves, when most of the time it just seems like a waste of energy, at least at that level.
Based on looking at these videos of Rihanna's performance, you shouldn't be jealous of the people who were there at all, because she wasn't putting in any effort, and they basically called her out of her retirement era to do this. And if it takes $6 million to get her to leave the house these days.
Also, this is the free market.
Is it worth it?
Here. This is the free market economy. She's able to work for the money she wants to work for. If they offered her $5 million, and she's like, I will not work for $5 million, but I will in fact work for $6 million, right? That's the beauty of it.
I mean, it's just shocking how different of a culture they have. I think that Rihanna was also getting a lot of praise for taking pictures with fans in India, because apparently Bollywood actors and actresses rarely deign to do so. And I guess they have this, class pressure because of the caste system there, where they're not willing to interact with people of a lower class than them.
Yeah, like, so I have like a couple of I've never followed a Bollywood account, but a lot of times they end up in like my recommended feed, and it will be like Bollywood women, and they're just like, the amount of pictures that are be taking of them is just insane, and they always just kind of look kind of superior to everyone.
That's how their society works.
It's kind of interesting. Like their celebrity, they seem very, very invested in their celebrities in a way that even we are here.
But weirdly, like, they're invested in our celebrities. That's why they invited Rihanna to perform at this wedding instead of someone in their own culture from Bollywood to perform.
And like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg
and all of these, like white American celebrities,
that's also
and politicians
networking.
and
That's networking opportunities.
Clearly, yes. But even just like in pop culture terms, they seem to idolize Western influences.
Celebrities
more
are
so than their own.
Export. Celebrities are sadly our greatest
export. Sadly,
weapons,
yes.
I suppose.
Pop culture and weapons of mass destruction are our biggest export.
We've got Rihanna,
huge influence.
We've got Rihanna, Mark Zuckerberg, and Lockheed Martin, and that's what we've got going for us. Thank you.
America the
fantastic.
beautiful.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.